Good evening, Twitter. I wanted to take this opportunity to um retweet. I tried to do it a moment ago, and I had some technical issues, so I'm redoing this again. But I wanted to take the opportunity to talk about something that occurred in the news, or just recently. Recently in the last 1 to 2 days, and I think it bears necessity to expand upon it, and that is that President or former President Donald Trump pointed out on social media earlier that it looks like he is supposed to be arrested and indicted in what was they called the Stormy Daniels issue. And in posting that, he kind of politically charged the atmosphere in social media with respect to this situation. A lot of conservatives are like, oh, he's being attacked politically because he's running for president and all this. When in reality, I think it's not. There isn't any political motivation whatsoever. What I believe has happened is that in the moment that he basically made mention of this, well, even before then, every investigation that has been done on him, the documents at Mar-a-Lago, the impeachments that he suffered during his presidency, every attack that every investigation that he has been under, there's always been this political lens, as it were, put out, turning it into a politically motivated attack. In all reality, if we look at our history, there's been a number of instances where similar situations have arisen with other individuals, whether they're celebrity, whether they're not. And America has always frowned upon those specific types of instances. Yet in this instance with President Trump, they've kind of took it, in a different perspective, and unfortunately, it's because these people are looking at this through what I call a political lens. Political lens meaning looking at it based on their political beliefs, and they're acknowledging what other individuals, mostly politicians, are saying. When in fact that is not the entire reality of what's going on. I'm going to give you some examples, and this is not to put down a denomination because of the individuals that I'm going to name, but this is to give you examples of what I'm talking about. Years ago, there was a minister evangelist named Jim Baker. He had a affair with then I guess his secretary at PTL Club. That was the name of the program, the name of the ministry. And he tried to conceal it. He paid hush money to the secretary. When it came out to light, and when evidence was shown that conclusively proved it, he had no choice but to admit to it. And the outcry that was generated was, so against that he committed it, or not against it, was so against him for the crime that, or the activity that he committed, that people frowned upon it. Okay, this is kind of the same, not the exact scenario with Donald Trump, but it's similar. Another example was further down the line from that was Jimmy Swaggart. He had an affair with another woman. He tried to deny it. When the evidence evidence came out, the conclusive evidence that showed that he did, he was forced to admit it. He actually asked for forgiveness, which I thought was kind of, it was kind of okay at one point because he's being honest. I don't know how legitimate he was about it. I'm not going to argue that point because that's not the purpose of this live stream. But what I'm getting at is these individuals, they committed a similar situation, such as Donald Trump, yet the outcry against them was totally different than what's happening with Donald Trump. The same can be said for Bill Clinton. I guess is another classic example. What's happened now with Donald Trump is that there's this political lens that has been put upon Donald Trump that has basically made people look at it and say, "Oh, it's because he's conservative, because he's running for president, because he's done so much for the country, and the Democrats, they don't like it, or all this and that." It's this political lens that has changed the focus of Americans into seeing what is right and what is wrong. What something such as what is going on right now with Donald Trump is morally and ethically wrong. The act that he committed, the fact that there is conclusive proof at this point that he did it, because the persons involved are admitting it. There's documented records, financials, to show that money was involved. We need to look at this, in a neutral light, because it's not a matter of is he conservative, is he not conservative. It's a matter of basically, did he do this particular thing, which is morally wrong and in some instances illegal? Is there sufficient conclusive evidence to support the charges? Okay. And if there are, okay, is he gonna be indicted? Is he not gonna be indicted? Is he gonna be arrested? We as Americans, we need to look at all these things without looking through the proverbial political lens. We have to see, did he do something wrong or not? Is there the proof? And if there is the proof, is he going to be arrested and indicted? If we look at it through a political lens, we're not going to see these items. Okay, we need to be neutral. We cannot contaminate ourselves with this political type of lens, because what will happen is over time our country will be more and more corrupt, because we begin to lose our moral and ethic values with respect to what is right and what is wrong. And I think as Americans, it's our responsibility to maintain focus. Maintaining focus means we cannot take the side of the conservative or the liberal in matters that may or may not be criminal. We need to look at it from an outsider's point of view. Is what this person did wrong or illegal? And if it is, is he going to be condemned? Or is he going to be charged? Is he going to be punished? Is there conclusive proof that he did do it? And if there is, okay, well, then he needs to run the course of justice. Plain and simple. And I think as Americans, we need to remember these things, and we need to keep them in mind, not be influenced by our political beliefs, or look at this from a political standpoint, because these things that are occurring are not political. They were never political, never meant to be political. History has shown that when a person is suspected of a crime, he's proven that he's committed the crime, the evidence is there, then he needs to pay the price and pay for his sins, basically. Whether it's jail time, whether it's a fine, whether it's a slap on the wrist. But a certain process has to go through and has to be done. Doesn't matter if this person was the president of the United States, if he was a regular Joe Blow like you and me. The fact of the matter is, if we allow ourselves to be contaminated by that political lens, our country, as it stands, will become more and more corrupt. And I think that now more than ever, we need to step back and we need to look at things from that neutral perspective, as whether something is lawful or not, and not whether it's conservative or Democrat. That's my take. Hope you found it interesting. I value your comments. on my Twitter feed. You can feel free to comment. I like to hear what you think about this. I believe that this is something that needs to be talked about, and it's not being talked about because everybody's dead set, whether you're conservative or not, you're Democrat or not. They're allowing that political lens to come into play, and I don't think that should happen in these specific situations. Well, thank you. Hope you have a good day. This is my tweet. I might come on again for another one momentarily later on. If I do, see you then. If not, I'll see you the next chance I have when something comes up that I would like to talk about. Thank you.